So once your child has had plenty of practice with the addition snake games, you can move on to the subtraction snake games. For this one, you need your coloured beads there, your 10 bead bars, your black and white beads there, and then you will also have your grey beads for this one. You've got 3 sets of these in your pack. You don't have to lay them out in a triangle like this, but I like to because I find if they're all in together, it's very difficult to tell them apart. It's not, with the coloured beads you can easily pick them out, and with the grey beads it's much harder. So I like to lay out at least 1 set there, and then if you need any more you can pick some more out afterwards. So now they do need to use this card for this one, because if they pick their own numbers randomly they may end up picking more subtraction numbers than, so more negative numbers than positive numbers, and it won't work for them at this stage. So they need to copy the snake which is laid out for them. So I have a 1 and an 8, and then I choose 3 from my subtraction beads. So that's a -3, and then a +9, and then a -5, +7, +2, -4, +6, +5, 1 and 3. And you start counting as you normally do, and if you get up to 10 you swap for a golden bead bar, but if you get to a -1 you have to stop counting and do your subtraction instead, and then carry on counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I've come to subtraction, so I need to stop counting, stop adding, and do my subtraction instead. So you can turn it over like that and count back. 1, 2, 3. I want to take away 3. Now, as before, I need to take away these 3, but there's 5 remaining on this side, so I need to use my placeholder to keep those 5 there. And I put my coloured bead bars onto a pile over here, and the grey bead bars also go onto a pile over here. So make sure they're not too close to these ones so that they don't get mixed up. These are going to go together with the coloured bead bars to be added together at the end. And then we count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can bring over my golden bead bar. I can put my 5 back in there and my 1 in the coloured bead pile. Now I need to keep the place of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my 5 comes back there, and I can put the 9 over with the coloured beads. And then I start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've come to some subtraction beads I need to take away. So bend those back like that. 5 take away 5 is 0. So I'm just going back to there. So black and white beads always go back in the black and white beads there, and your subtraction beads go in a pile next to the coloured beads. And we have to keep moving the snake along because it gets shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I've come to subtraction. So I can put those there like that. I'm going to take away 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 5 remaining there. So I need 5 from the black and white beads there to hold the place. I put my coloured beads back into the coloured bead bar pile, and my grey bead into the subtraction pile. And then I move them along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can bring down my golden bead. I need a 1 to hold the place there. This is 1 remainder. And coloured beads into the coloured bead pile, black and white beads there, goes back, and then I start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that works out perfectly. So my coloured beads go back with the rest of the coloured beads, and my black and white placeholder back into the black and white stair. And as before, we can now line the beads up and check if we did it correctly. This time you'll need to line up the golden beads and the subtraction beads to see if you've got the right answer. So you're looking for number bonds to 10 again. So I know that 9 and 1 is 10, 8 and 2 is 10, 7 and 3 is 10. Then I've got 5 here, so I can match that with my 5 bead bar. And now I've got a 4 and a 3, but here I've got a 6 and a 1. So I'm going to swap my 6 for a 4 and a 2, because I'm allowed to do equal swaps. And now I can use my 4 to go there, and I have a 2 and a 1, which can be swapped for a 3. And if they all match up, then it means we've done it right. So the children will need quite a bit of practice with this, remembering where to put the beads back, and getting fluent with counting up and counting backwards until they really get the hang of it. So this is set 5, and set 6 are very similar there too, but you will sometimes have a head on the snake when you get to 6. So when your child has had lots of practice with the subtraction snake game, you can move on to these linear subtraction questions. You lay them out as we did with the addition, so you've got your working line with the signs in between and your equals at the end, and then you lay the same beads out again. That's going to be your working outline. Then this time we're looking for pairs that cancel each other out. So for example, 7 minus 7, because these are our subtraction beads, we know that's going to be 0. They cancel each other out. 7 minus 7 is 0. Actually, that's a 5. So that's wrong. We have to count them carefully. So let's start with a 5. 5 minus 5 is 0, so we don't need to bring an answer down here. And then we can see that we could do, let's see, 7 minus 3, which would give us 4. And then we've got our 8, which we can bring down. And then we can see that 8 and 4 we can swap for a 12. And then we can bring our answer up there. So they can see that 7, take away 3, take away 5, plus 8 plus 5 equals 12. So once your child has become quite confident with working with the linear addition and subtraction with the beads, you can then go on to writing on the laminated card and just creating the answer with the beads. So on here they might look for some pairs, so they know plus 5 and minus 5 is 0, and then they've got an 8, take away 3. So then they can say, okay, that's 5, and add 7 is 12. And they can just write that down on there. And then they can move on to the next step, where they would be able to write that down in their books and just find the answer just by looking. Which is quite challenging. This is quite high level. It may take quite a lot of work with the beads to get used to be able to doing that kind of thing in your head. The next set, which has the D on, you don't want to use until they've done the negative snake game, which will be the one I'm explaining next.